So, you want to get better at your Steel Mace exercises, and I'm here to tell you there is no magic bullet, there is no magic exercise that's going to work. However, there are two things you should definitely be focusing on if you want to improve your Steel Mace skills. Now, unfortunately, as nice as it would be, it'd be brilliant if there's just like one exercise or one thing you can do that just massively exacerbates your skill and your strength and your fitness with the Steel Mace. However, it just doesn't work like that. No fitness system really works out, and anybody who's telling you that is probably trying to sell you something. So I like to pride myself on being honest with you and just giving you the clear-cut truth. There is no one thing that you can do. All right, I will give you an exercise that beginners should definitely be doing to get started, but that's not the gift that keeps on giving forever more. You've got to start it, you've got to do it. After that, once you become an intermediate, a bit more advanced, it's not really going to add anything more than just being a warm-up. Before I get on to the most important, by far, system thing you should be doing to improve your skills, your strength, your fitness, we have to talk about progressive overload. Now, in conventional training system, progressive overload means increasing the weight, increasing the reps, increasing the distance, running faster, things like that. Increasing a metric. Now, with a mace, that still works just the same. You can increase the weight of the mace, you can increase the length of time you're doing your Steel Mace, you can increase your frequency. So to anybody in the know, your FIT principles, you can increase your frequency, your intensity, the time you're doing the exercise, and the type of exercise you're doing. And there is also a fifth one, you can also increase enjoyment, which kind of like multiplies the other four. But that's kind of a weird concept. It's not directly you increase enjoyment, you will increase fitness. It's likely to, but it's not guaranteed to. But anyway, so you can do those things. Now, the mace, especially flow work, is a lot of skill involved, and you're kind of limited to a weight range. So your intensity kind of drops down. You have to change the type and you have to increase the skill. Now you can, like I said, you can just do more time, but nobody's got an indefinite amount of time to train. So for example, my mace work, my flow work, so about an hour worth of training. That includes a warm-up, a little bit of skill drill practice, and then the actual flow itself is split down into, depending on what phase I'm in, or if I've got any other stuff to do, 2 to 3 rounds of 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, that suits me, that suits my fitness goals that I'm trying to achieve. Now you could go longer, you could go for 3-minute rounds, you could go for marathon rounds, whatever you want to do. Likewise, if you're doing more traditional mace swinging, you might want to do reps rather than time, unless you're going competitive, in which case you're going to want to do time, you're going to want to perhaps do intervals, things like that. But either way, you've got to progress what you're doing. Now for flow work, that's definitely going to be increasing the complexity of your flows. So for example, one of the first flows that I ever learned was 3 movements, okay? It was a 360, down into a squat, ballistic curl alternate, down into a squat, ballistic curl, lateral lunge, ballistic curl, lateral lunge. That was it. That was the first flow I ever learned, and it kicked my arse to start with. Now, it's not so bad. I have to use a heavier weight to progress into a heavier weight. And over time, you have to start adding things to that, start adding more difficult movements until eventually you get into something more complex, adding in more routine, more movements, different positions, catches, more momentum, all sorts of stuff. And it can be quite tempting to just go right straight to the end. Progressive overload means you do it in little increments. So what I would suggest to you to progress your skills is to learn a flow or have a flow and add on a new movement. How often that movement occurs is going to be down to you and your personal time that you can devote to the art. Now, myself, way back when I first started, I would do a workout flow once a week and then do a learning flow once a week. So I would learn it, spend a bit of time watching the videos, trying to break it down, and then the next week I'd do it for time and with a bit of oomph, a bit of gusto to try and really get a heart rate up. So you want to try and pick a movement that you reckon you could do, but you can't guarantee you can do. Just pushing your comfort zone, pushing your boundaries just a little bit. Trying to go for that movement that looks super fancy that you know you definitely can't do, there's no point trying. To climb that mountain, you have to take the first step, then the second step before you can hit the peak, okay? Same with mace work. Before you go into the really complicated movements, start with the smaller ones. So let's take catches, for example. Before you start doing full 360s in the air, just start with learning to do a coin toss to begin with. Okay? There's a little bit of air time, a little bit of catching going on. Then you can perhaps go into, say, something like a behind the back catch. It's still a coin toss, but we're adding some more movement. We're adding a different plane of direction to work on. And then you can build that up until eventually you can go for a bit of a half toss. So you can start out an archer, flip, and it's like a really big coin toss. Then another small coin toss, we're back to the start. So you can start to progress and build up to the full thing. Which path you go, I can't give you a sequence of exercises to do that. It's going to be largely what you're interested in, what you can come across. Now, of course, I've got tutorials on my page, on my channel. I can't do them all. I'm trying to build up and get more and more on there, but you can kind of pick one. That's why I do choose we've got a bit of a color coding system on, so the green stuff is more for beginners, the yellow stuff is more intermediate, red stuff more advanced, purple's quite specialized, and further advanced from there. So you can go onto my channel, have a look at those, start with the green ones, work onto the yellow ones, or if you find there's a yellow one you fancy trying, mix and match, go for it. Now, another thing to think about is coaching, okay? So we've all heard that we shouldn't really compare ourselves to other people. You know, all these influencers, social media, you know, I'm on social media as well, so I can be included in this. We have different lifestyles, different things to do. You know, way back when, I was training mace 3-4 times a week. However, nowadays, my time is split between the different hobbies and interests that I have to do. So I'm only really training a full workout with mace once a week, but I do get mace in hand twice a week now. If you can't do twice a week, then you can't do twice a week. You're not going to progress as much. However, that's where coaching can come in. So if you are lucky enough to have a Steel Mace coach near you, I would fully suggest seeking them out and getting their advice and, you know, pay for the work with them. That ability to have someone there and then with you makes your learning exponentially better. You can get really far, you can get really good by learning yourself on the internet. That is fine. You know, the Flowing Dutchman has got some great courses. You know, you can learn a lot, but actually being able to be there with a person helps a lot. You can get instant feedback. You can get people to, like I help in my class, I'll hold the mace and guide the path that the mace head should be traveling in, really help them feel what they're looking for. So if you do have the ability to get a coach, grab a coach and try not to compare yourself too much to people that do have a coach. So for example, I ran some courses probably about 2 years ago now, and there was 4 lots of 6-week courses gradually building up intensity. So I had beginner, intermediate, advanced and masters. Now, the people that made it through to the masters in about 6 months had as much skill as I did when I first started trying to learn on my own after about a year. So having a coach, by that little anecdotal evidence, can double the speed of your skill improvement. It doesn't necessarily mean your fitness is going to improve faster, but your skill will, and your enjoyment will then increase, which then might mean you're more likely to stick with Steel Mace and keep your consistency for your fitness going. And that is the number one thing that you can do, is you've got to keep consistent. It doesn't really matter how long it works for, how long you do. You have to keep consistent at it. So if you're going to train once a week, consistently train once a week. If you put an hour in, put an hour in. If the next week you can't put an hour in, but you can put half an hour or 10 minutes, do it. Try and keep as consistent as possible, because there is a little bit of skill fade with mace. Again, especially flow work. If you haven't done a flow for a while, it can be a little bit more tricky to pick it up. It doesn't just come and stick with you and you've unlocked it forevermore. You do have to maintain these things. There is a bit of crossover, of course. You can do some flow work, and the skills and momentum and things you do pass over into other flows that you do. Likewise, when you swing in heavier mace for more traditional work, if you travel, for example, you could take a lighter mace with you and at least do something. You're not necessarily going to go backwards. You can unlock new skills. Having a lighter mace means you can actually focus on the form a bit more. And then that can pass over into your heavier mace when you get back to it. And like with any fitness discipline, consistency is the absolute number one rule. You could do, say for example, there was that magic bullet exercise. You could do it once, but then if you never do it again, your fitness will decline, your skills will decline and fade with time. So magic bullet or not, you have to stay consistent with it. And that's one of the beauties of the mace work. If you're new to Steel Mace, is that because it is so unique, it stays interesting. There's always something new to learn. There's always a challenge to sink your teeth into, which keeps the consistency going. It keeps the interest and fire alive whilst you're training. I did promise you that there is one exercise that you probably should be doing. If you're not, and especially if you're a beginner, you definitely need to be doing this. And I would say that is the pendulum. Whether if you're doing flow work or not, the pendulum is going to help your shoulders open up, your triceps strengthen, and when you start to get a bit more advanced and bring in the torso twist, it's going to start to be a core exercise as well. Because that's definitely something maturing with Steel Mace, is realizing it's not an arm exercise, it's a core exercise, but that's another subject entirely. So the pendulum, what we want to do is start in the rack position, or as I like to call it, a rack position. And generally for the beginners, what I'd say is rest the handle on your shoulder and let the arms lift up. And then have the arms sink down. So this is definitely a good idea to be doing this in front of a mirror, because if you can see your hands, they're too high. Let them lower down, relax those elbows. Initiate a swing from side to side with your body, and then let momentum do the work. A little bit of help with your hands, and swing, swing, swing. Good. And your task is to do 50, 100 reps or so of just swinging and trying to keep those arms down, head up, hips forward, and have a good posture and swing from side to side. And as you get more confident, you can try and swing it higher and higher until eventually you're nearly doing 180 degrees, so a half 360, the heavy part, the part that needs to be done the most. And over time, you can add in the torso twist as well to initiate that power and keep building up. But likewise, there's your progressions as well. Start with just a swing, a small swing side to side, focusing on trying to keep your hands behind your head and your hands down, just small swings. Then you progress into bigger swings, hands by the side, then bigger and bigger, and so on and so forth. Might take weeks, might take months, depending on how much time you can dedicate. And then, lastly, we can bring in that torso twist until eventually you're nearly there for a full 360 anyway. So whether you're doing traditional swings, that's definitely a good one to do. And for flow work, it's really going to help you feel the leverage of the mace, use that to your advantage. It's going to help open up your shoulders, and it's going to help strengthen your triceps and your elbows. As much as I did say there was no magic exercise, if you think there is one particular exercise out there that helps no end, do let me know in the comments below, because I definitely would like to learn if there is one out there and I just haven't come across it.